On April 6, 1994, a private jet carrying Rwandan president was shot down in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. What followed next was the genocide of 1 million people of Tutsi minority by the Hutu extremists over a period of 100 days. All this happened even though the United Nations Assistance Mission in Rwanda and the UN peacekeepers were present in the country. United Nations failure to act in Rwanda is attributed to the lack of political will and to categorize the atrocities in Rwanda as genocide. The Rwandan genocide remains one of the most jarring failures of United Nations, and certainly it is not the only one. So why does UN Security Council fails to stop conflicts? The United Nations was created after World War II to prevent future global conflicts. Its main aim was to maintain international peace and security, promote human rights, and uphold international law. The Security Council is the most powerful UN body. While most UN bodies can make recommendations, the Security Council is the only body whose decisions are legally binding on all member states. The Security Council consists of 15 members divided into two groups: permanent members or the P5, which includes US, UK, China, Russia, and France, and non-permanent members. These are 10 elected members which are elected for 2 years by the General Assembly. The 5 permanent members hold veto power. This gives permanent members the power to block a substantive resolution regardless of support from other members. Any one of them can kill a resolution with a single veto. Since 1945, the veto has been used over 300 times, and almost every time it had nothing to do with global peace. Russia and China have repeatedly vetoed resolutions on Syria, blocking attempts to hold the Syrian government accountable for chemical weapon attacks on its own civilians. The US has vetoed dozens of resolutions criticizing Israel. France and UK have shielded their former colonies from accountability. Every permanent member has at some point used their veto not to protect global peace but to protect their own interests. This is the fundamental contradiction at the heart of the Security Council. The very countries responsible for maintaining world peace are the same countries most likely to start, fund, or benefit from conflicts around the world. The 10 elected countries that rotate in and out every 2 years can debate, draft, or appeal to the conscience of the world, but hold no real power. It is the P5 countries that decide whether a resolution is passed or not, and that is why United Nations Security Council fails to act. The UN peacekeepers on ground obey the mandate of the Security Council. They become spectators to conflicts due to lack of authorization to act. This is why, despite UN mission in Rwanda, the genocide continued. The UN force commander on ground, General Romeo Dallaire, had requested authorization to use force in January 1994, 3 months before the Rwandan genocide began, but he was never authorized. So how do we fix this? The United Nations Charter can be amended, but any amendments to the Charter requires ratification by 2/3 of the UN member states, including all 5 permanent members, which means the 5 permanent members have to agree to reform their own powers. They have to voluntarily vote to make themselves less powerful. That has never happened, and it almost certainly never will. But this hasn't stopped countries from trying. The group of 4 or the G4 countries, which includes India, Germany, Japan, and Brazil, have been pushing for decades to expand the permanent membership of the Security Council. Their argument is straightforward. The Security Council reflects the world of 1945, not the world of today. India alone has 1.4 billion people and no permanent seat. The entire continent of Africa, with 54 countries, over a billion people, have no permanent representation at all. Another proposal for reforming UN Security Council suggests curtailing the individual powers of the P5 countries and only allowing them to exercise a veto together for it to take effect, preventing any single country from unilaterally blocking action. Another proposal, championed by France and later supported by over 100 countries, would have P5 members voluntarily suspend their veto in case of mass atrocities such as genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. A system that only functions when the most powerful countries already agree isn't a system of collective security. It is just powerful countries doing what they were going to do anyway with a UN stamp on it. The UN Security Council is broken because the most powerful nations in the world designed it to serve their own interests and then called it a system of global justice. Whether the system can be fixed depends on something the Security Council has never been good at, that is, the political will.